right, now I have to find us on here. Hold on.
Live right now?
Yeah, we're live right now.
We're live right now. Yes, that's it. Right now.
I'm going to turn all my sounds off.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yes, please. Hi.
We're going to need the phone up for the... Oh, I'll pull up the questions.
Well, no, I can when we get... Are we going to go through those first?
Yeah.
Or okay.
We're going to be all nice and cozy.
I'm just going to kick that.
Well, do you want to go back and forth?
Oh, wait.
There's
Can
only
you
4 on
click
this one.
that to all chat
no.
instead of top chat?
Yeah.
It's like whatever it is. The other option. Live.
Live
That's it.
chat.
Yes, live.
Let's see if people can hear us first.
Can people hear
I
us?
feel like we are far away.
Yes, we are far away, but you know what? I'm super fucking loud, and so is Mel.
Me never.
I'm very quiet.
Yeah, you're not loud, so you may need to speak up.
That's
quiet
not
and
completely
modest
true.
and-
Yeah, but I can on here he is. Usually.
Yep, staying out here.
You can come in. I don't mind being butt buddies.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was half
Oh,
my
yeah,
ass.
that looks great on.
This is just. I give up.
Well, wait, if you're
Come
over there,
on
I can
in.
be over here.
No,
And
no,
then we
no,
just go-
no. Just get in.
No. Yes, there we go. Oh, God. Nope, that was not a good
How do you feel
example.
about that one now,
Yep.
Joe?
I feel terrible about that one.
They're all worried about how they look.
Yes.
Well, we're not used to this. Like,
Krista said
Fine.
just fine.
I can
Steven
hear you
said he was fine,
Hello,
yeah.
hello. Hi, Kay.
I gotta get used to
Hi,
the other
Steven.
names that come across.
Jared. Oh, I know. Besides the ones on Facebook, I know.
You're done. You're all relaxed and
Because I do this a lot. It's just after a while, what are you going to do?
I've done it quite a bit.
yeah, because she doesn't know the questions yet.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but you guys, there's like not a whole lot. If you ask me, that would.
We'll see.
I'm pretty an open book.
Jen,
yeah,
do you
I
have the witch's third nipple?
And if so, prove it.
I don't believe so.
Peter?
I think I'll get banned from YouTube if I try
Yes.
to show. No.
Oh God. All right. Are we good? We good to start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 14, 16. 16 people on. 2 likes. Only 2 likes. Everybody like the page?
They don't like us.
Yeah. yeah. All right. So, first question. Well, would you like to introduce yourself? We all did that.
Yeah, we had to.
Yep.
My name is Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
I'm here and I'm going to be interviewed.
Bye.
Some
You're-
2
you're
crazy
wonderful,
people
wonderful,
that
crazy
just
souls,
wandered
yeah.
in off the street.
Yes. Well, we do look like that sometimes.
I did earlier.
All right. So, first question. We'll just go back and forth.
Yeah, that works.
Jen, describe your spirit. If you could take this a little bit more seriously.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you very much. Describe your spiritual path from childhood to now, and what drew you to this path.
Okay, how long exactly were you guys planning on being here? Because I could do
We
that.
had to explain from childhood on.
Yeah.
So,
You were like, give us your birth
Yeah.
history.
yes.
Well, I could do that,
I
but yeah,
popped
all
out of
right.
the womb with
All right,
crystals.
I'll try to be
No, she was Christian.
I know.
as succinct as I can. But I grew up in a pretty much Catholic household with my grandparents. My parents were Catholic, but normal Catholic, like didn't really practice. My grandfather, however, like literally would take us everywhere. Every place we moved to, he would come to us and take us to church so that we would go to church.
Oh, yeah, big one.
He was always an usher at church. He would, he was a deacon, I think, at one point. It was very serious to him, and so we always went to church. So I went through confirmation. Got baptized, all that stuff. I did all of that. I actually got to the point where
What's your fourth name?
Marie.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
So original.
yeah.
I know, because it was my youth group leader actually, and there was a reason for it
Yeah.
because it was my
Oh,
youth
gotcha.
group leader.
Yeah.
To the point where I was supposed to take over for my youth group leader when she retired. Like I was going to be the next youth group
Well,
leader.
you're leading a different group now.
Yes, I definitely
We're
am.
all very youthful.
Yes.
I taught Sunday school for 4th graders. Like I was.
Jen didn't silence her phone.
Yeah. Yeah, John.
I didn't silence my phone.
No.
Oh fuck me. Wait, I'll silence it now. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
And Hexen wants to reveal your witch's
Yeah,
teeth.
the third, which is
You will have to stay tuned for that. I don't know if that'll be a live thing
it'll be
or.
at the end of the
Hi,
broadcast.
Tyler.
ready? Okay, here we
Oh
go.
God, we do kind of match.
Yes, it's beautiful.
They're matching. It's so cute.
It's 'cause
Sorry.
we have this innate.
We do that though.
Who said that?
Chelsea.
Oh,
That we match too much to be randos.
yeah.
Okay. So, yes. So I taught Sunday school. I was all in. I think somewhere I still have books. Like I had bought a whole set of books to teach teens.
My mother had those books. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was all
It
in.
was like a
Oh, yeah.
breakdown of the Bible, and it's books and shit like that for each grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Got to the point though where, you get to a point when you hit adulthood where you start to question the things that you were taught when you were a child. And actually, I think it was Peter said something. Oh, Peter started with the Trinity. It actually started with Peter that long ago. Started with the Trinity, started asking me questions about the Trinity. And it bothered me so. I remember breaking down into tears thinking what I was taught was not correct. And I was like, but that's what I was taught. But I don't understand. How can this not be accurate? And so once that breakdown happened, then I went on to explore everything. Like I went to explore different forms of Christianity and all that kind of stuff. I've told this story before. See, this could be really long. I'm trying to shorten it, but it's really hard. I know I've told the story before where I went to Maranatha Church. It's going to be like 4 hours long. I just know it. We're still question one.
Well, the rest of the questions are less invasive.
That's true.
You start out with the
Yeah,
one.
this
What
is
is
like-
your whole history?
Yeah, that's true.
Were you breech or natural? Like,
Did you come out of the sunroof or naturally through the front door? You're like,
Maranatha. I went to Maranatha Church, which is like a super evangelical
Okay.
church. And the pastor, and I remember going there because the kids were little, like they were 3 and 4 maybe or something. And they had separate rooms for age groups for the kids to like go in and learn what we were learning, but at a different level. And coming out to pick them up, and they had coloring sheets that said one of the passages of like, these are all the people that go to hell, and pictures of people with t-shirts on, like pro-choice t-shirts walking into hell. And I was like, I don't fucking think so. And you all know me with my mouth. It was not a good thing. I like brought the pictures to the pastor. I'm like, do you know that this is what's being taught in 3rd and 4th, in the 3rd and 4th grade, or not grade, age, 3 and 4. And he's like, his response literally was, well, they have to learn sometime.
Ugh.
this is not the same pastor that gave Joey his necklace.
No. Thank goodness.
Just
No.
wondering.
That was the Catholic one that I'd grown up with that I love. But still to this day I love it. But yeah, so literally I grabbed the paper out of his hands and I said, you'll never see me again. You're ridiculous and go to hell yourself, or something to that effect, and never went back there. Continued though my path of searching, and really, those of you who have seen the video with Joey, that's the catalyst, I guess, that really started me looking onto like alternative spiritual paths, because Joey was born a medium, and before he could talk was having night terrors and would wake up screaming, and we didn't know why until he finally could talk and started talking about his other brother, which was the twin that I lost when I was pregnant for him. And like, it took a long time to really connect that, months I think, where we were like, I don't understand, what are you talking about? And it finally hit us that he was talking about the brother that had passed away. At which point, at this time, you're talking 20 something years ago, there wasn't the resources that there are today.
No.
Hexen and I talk a lot about how we didn't have the research. There was no social media. There wasn't. I don't even think online was a thing at the point. Even Yahoo, or not Yahoo. What was first? AOL.
That
Yeah.
was still everything.
None of that was there. I had books. I remember going to the library, and they would be in these weird sections because they didn't really know how to put them, and you had to like be careful about who saw you with these books and all this stuff. But I remember sending away for books, like with checks in the mail and
Like in the back of the book, it would
Yeah.
list other. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. We didn't have all that stuff. We didn't have Google.
He's
We
a
didn't
baby.
have, yeah.
He's a baby.
Yes, yes.
This is when I was in like preschool that this was happening.
I don't think you were born, is my guess. What year were you born?
No, because
94.
he's older than Joey.
Oh, right. You were born, but yeah, you were in diapers.
See?
Yeah. So.
Witches practicing you.
Yeah. So, and there was nothing, we didn't have the resources. So I really just had to read every book I could find and try to figure it out. I remember reaching out to a couple, like psychic mediums type people that I found out, and none of them wanted to talk to us though, because Joey was a minor. There was like legal, they were like, yeah, no, we don't, nope.
I never thought about that aspect.
Will not talk. And I'm like, please, can you give me some pointers of how I should be dealing with this? And they, no, we won't speak about that at all because they're minor. So.
See, like, are there still rules like that around nowadays, like, or laws with?
There
I
are.
haven't seen anything.
You have to be careful because they legally are not at the age of consent for anything. So anything that they come to you with, you have to, how are your parents about this and stuff, because you can't really go behind people's backs and do that nowadays or you're looking for trouble.
Yeah. See, it's weird because on the other flip of the coin, you have priests and stuff coming up to kids and just being like, "Oh, are you following God? Have you been a good boy?" Like,
That's a whole nother ball of wax that you're going down.
That's a whole nother thing. That's why, though, when I teach Reiki, we talk about it's terrible to talk about ways around that, but you really do have to be careful liability-wise, and the way around that is one of two ways. Either I was okay because I had a New York State license to practice X-ray, which meant if I touch people, I was okay because I had a license.
With their consent, right? Yeah.
Yes, with their consent, absolutely. And you make them sign it. That's why we have those Reiki forms. Or you have to be ordained. That's the other way, which is
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I'm ordained, so now I can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. That gets you out of the liability portion of it, though, which is it's terrible to say that, but that is what it is. And so then from there, we kind of practiced as a family, and the family got into it. Peter has always been a Christian, but has like a true Christian. He was able to open up his eyesight and be okay with stuff that worked for us, and that was fine. Most of the boys practiced with me except PJ, like almost never did. Like a couple days, maybe here and there, but mostly not. But most of the boys did, and so we started practicing from there, and here we are. Yay, how long was that now? 13 minutes. Question 1.
Oh,
Check.
that's not bad.
Well, I did want to reiterate on the one part of kind of the what draws you to this path thing. Like, when was your point that you wanted to form your own group or coven? And
Oh, that's a good question. I think something happens when you reach an age where your kids start to not need you anymore. That sounds funny,
Really?
but not need you like physically. You have to drive them all over, and suddenly you have more time than you ever have, before that ever. And that's when that happened. That's when I started my YouTube channel, because I wanted to find something that I felt I could give back to people that I felt were on the same path as me. Because like I said, when I started, there was very little out there. And when I started my YouTube page, there was very little out there. There wasn't a whole lot. Like today, there's thousands and thousands out there, but it was not the case when I started. And it gave me an outlet, and then it kind of grew into when you become this crone. As far as I'm concerned, the crone phase really starts when you feel like you have wisdom to share with somebody else, and that your life path changes because suddenly what's most important to you is teaching what you know to other people.
Yeah.
And I think that really started it. And once I felt like, I think that one series that I did about Beginner Witch, my Beginner Witch series, that a lot of people said I had something that resonated with them, then I felt like, okay, well, I do have something that I think I can teach. And I think perhaps this is where I'm supposed to be going. And I had always tried to listen to the universe and what I thought the universe was telling me or which direction I was supposed to be going in, but that really made it more clear, like, yeah, this is something that I can get back to. This is where I want to be.
Question 2.
I was watching time.
All right, so what were we at? 15 minutes.
Yep. See,
Question one,
Because I
done.
haven't been reading.
Okay.
so you can touch people, Hexen.
Matt Aaron talks about having to ask for books when he was young.
Yeah, it was a totally different thing.
If you guys want to write down all your questions, and then at the end, we're going to actually open the floor up to ask Jen personal questions and stuff like that if you guys have any things. So that is a good thing to write down.
Okay, so the second one is describe your unique current path and what practices you do that help you to define that path.
Wow.
Aren't you glad you wrote these?
Wow. So very happy. Okay. So.
You need us to rephrase the question.
Right? All right. So I would, first of all, the question of labels is always a weird question because it's really hard to label anybody in this path, especially. There's so many branches that it always comes down to like the simplest label that encompasses a whole bunch of shit, which really for me is a pagan eclectic witch. And that's the simplest explanation I can give for everything that I pull into my practice because it's pagan, meaning nature-based. Pagan to me, my explanation of pagan is a nature-based religion that you following our cycles, that kind of thing. Eclectic meaning whatever the fuck I want. I pull in stuff from all kinds of different paths.
Yeah.
And witch meaning the actual practice of the craft is how I go about staying on my spiritual path.
That asks about daily practices, right?
Yeah. I know, I'm getting
I
there.
was just making sure.
It's just
yet.
part
Not
one.
yet.
So
What practices help you define your path?
I'll help you define it.
Yeah. So that's the definition of it is that. And I think a lot of what defines my path today is the circle and the channel. And that really helps me to define, because my path, I truly, at this point, is the teaching portion of the path. And it doesn't mean I don't have practices. I have plenty of practices that I do personally for my spirituality. But my path is directed towards teaching. So.
Okay, what challenges have you experienced on your journey? And I feel like we would just want to focus on not all the challenges from the beginning.
Wow, when I was born, I had a wart on my hand,
Yes.
and that
was her third nipple.
Yes.
It comes from your hand. Here we go.
Okay. Yes. So spiritual challenges. It's funny, as a mother and someone who was trying to work my children through the spiritual pagan path. There was challenges that came up there that I feel like even then surprised me, even though it was early and not a lot of people knew it and stuff. I guess I always believe the best in people, always. And I will continue to, even now.
Yeah.
So it's always weird to me to see truly asshole people. And you think, really, you're really going to be that person? And there's always little things that come up that I think, wow. Joey one time, a lot of it has to do with Joey because spiritually and Frank too, but Joey, because he really started our path, I really feel connected spiritually to Joey a lot. But a lot of times it had to do with Joey. Joey, at one point in middle school, I think, was anxious. He always had anxiety issues and focus issues and stuff. So we had put a little jar together of lavender and lemongrass, and he was wearing it. And one of his classmates turned him in for carrying weed to school. And even like they called him down to the principal's office, and he was like, it's lemongrass and lavender, you can pick it in from your garden. And they called me in for a teacher conference because he was not allowed to have spiritual representations in school. And I, of course, flipped my shit.
Well, yeah, because,
I was like, really? So do any of you wear a cross? Because that's going to be a problem.
Right.
You know, and Peter, I do remember, thank goodness Peter would go with me, because I swear I would be in fistfights, like a lot. I was not the one to stay calm, and I was really the one to go off.
We know.
Mhm.
So,
Yes, you too.
yeah, a little bit. So I remember those challenges. That one ended up, they told him we had to keep it at the nurse's office. His little jar of herbs had to be kept at the nurse's office, and he could go whenever he wanted to the nurse's office to smell his little jar of
That's
herbs.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I was really fucking annoyed.
Steven says you're making it up as you go.
No. It really, like, stupid ass that I thought, how are you alive on this planet?
Yep, Sherry said about the crosses too, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And if those little things that if I had money then, I would have hired a lawyer.
Right.
And, you know, like, there's all these little things that rich people get to do that when you don't have money, you think, I want those privileges, damn it. Because
You gotta
we
walk
should have
in
rights too.
and pretend you're a rich person.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
I was not good at
You
that.
don't even have to lawyer up. You just have to
Say
you're
lawyer?
going to
Yeah.
lawyer.
that and also the news.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to call the news. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
some
no,
people
no.
say they're
No,
going
you
be
have
on
to
the
go
news.
with I've already contacted them and they're interested.
Oh, yes.
It works really well.
I'm so bad at the lying thing, though. I think that I would be like, I called a
No, I got it.
news agency someplace, and yeah, no.
Well, that's why you have to think out before you make the
Right.
call.
Well, but that's part of the problem. Is it was always such a shock to me that people were so close-minded and retarded. I just was like, how could you possibly be that?
Yeah.
No, that you can't really mean that.
Oh, Bob's here too.
Hi, Dana. Hi, Bob.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of people here. As far as like faces I haven't seen in a
Oh,
little
there's
while.
25
too.
people.
Yes.
Hi, honey.
Uh,
So, yeah. So that's just one of the many. There
Well, I
was
know you always had
more.
that example when, like, I talked about that stuff when I did my interview with you. It was like your neighbors did that something.
North Carolina.
They did. I forgot exactly what it was, but
We were the Yankee witches, so we would get the cops called on us just for being Yankee witches. And they, thinking when they call the cops, you think, yeah, but what are they going to do? Like, we're not actually doing anything. But the cops down there would show up and be like, yeah, but are you really witch? And I'm like, yeah, I really am. And,
Would you like to see my third teeth?
and they're like, yeah, but what do you mean that? I'm like, who the fuck? Do you go to Christians' houses and ask them how do they practice? I'm like, I'm not fucking sacrificing people.
Did
if
you
that's
observe
what you mean.
Lent?
Yeah. What are you kidding me? That was part of the weird thing about the North and the South, though, that it took me a while to get, is that in the North, we don't ask people where they go to church. That's just a weird, we wouldn't do that. Well,
It's a
in
Bible
X-ray,
Belt thing.
I would be at work, and people would be like, so where do you go to church? And I'm like, well, I have church out of my own house.
in the backwoods near my college.
Yeah, right? Well, but then they would be like, oh, you do church in the house, because they have that, but it's a way different kind of thing. And I'm like, well, actually, I'm a pagan.
How much fun would it have been to bed? To answer, up in a tree, naked.
Tree, yeah,
Yep, with my golden knife.
And a tuna.
and my diaper, and exactly.
Mark, Jay says hi.
And they, the boys would pick up on that because my boys were raised to be my boys. They would pick up on that, and my boys would, they would like draw pentacles and chalk at the front of their driveway so that they couldn't leave the driveway.
Yeah, I
they were
remember
too
you telling me
afraid.
that.
They would come out and start, like chanting something that meant nothing, and pretend to curse them. My boys had fun with it. They were
Well, you might as well.
They were my boys,
Right?
What are you gonna do? Yes. Okay. Did I answer that?
Next question.
Next question.
Okay, describe the deity work you do, if any, and do you have regular practices? I'm not going to ask. Yeah, just what do you do regularly?
Okay. So deity work, I work with lots of different deity. There's specific deity that I work with, like on a cyclical basis, I would say, more than anything. There's like Sekhmet. I have an Egyptian altar. I have Sekhmet, and Sekhmet works with me with very specific things. My deity, I have to say, work with me for purposes more than anything, except for maybe Hecate, I think, is around all the time. whether I want her to be or not. And other than that, though, very specific purpose kind of work. I work with deity for an intention. I have different deity that work with me for protection work, for healing, for and so it's about the energies that they're bringing to the table. That doesn't mean that I don't do anything with them when I'm not healing or using them for protection or anything, because that would be like a I'm using them kind of thing. But I do after that, even if I'm not doing that, then I have certain offerings and stuff that I do after that. Daily meditation is a big part of my practice. Even on the days that it's, a minute or two, it's that is one thing that I'm teaching that I try to instill in a lot of people, is that alone time with yourself and spirit is super important.
Oh yeah, you've got to be able to stand yourself before others can stand you.
And it gives you a platform of, once you learn how to meditate, you learn how to listen differently.
Yeah.
And to deal with energy differently, and to hear what deity has to say to you or what universe has to say to you differently than you do if you're not meditating.
Yeah.
And recognize and to trust. I think the biggest thing is to trust your own understanding of things.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you first start out, though, to go, was I making that shit up in my head?
Yeah.
Because at first you don't know if, and I've heard a million people say, yeah, but I felt like I was just making it up. Yeah, we all do it first.
Yeah.
What helps is when you can learn to say that out loud, or if you get messages, to say that to someone, and then to hear, oh yeah, I had this experience, and what you just said really resonated with me. Because then you go, oh, okay, so I wasn't bullshitting. That was me talking to spirit for someone else, or that whatever that connection is, you suddenly trust that more, and it becomes easier to trust that later.
I know when I first started this, like, meditation and stuff like that was like, I just viewed it as a waste of time. And like, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then like recently and more currently, I've been able to actually, like, when I do my candles and stuff like that, I'll find that I'm just quiet, relaxing, and I'm opening myself up to, and that's the whole point of it. Instead of just kind of sitting there quiet, you're opening yourself up to everything around you instead.
Learning what that feels like, what that means to you, definitely.
Hex and I were just talking about that last night.
Ding, ding, ding.
Like when you're doing something, like you're, the candles, painting something, whatever it is, if you're being in that moment and opening yourself to everything.
Absolutely. I think also, I will say that there's several altars that change cyclically with seasons and stuff. My main altar in my house has always been the Sabbath altar, and I try to change that with the Sabbath. Sometimes I'm way behind. But that helps when you're cleansing your altar and changing that energy. I think it helps to connect to the energy better too.
Oh, geez, yes. My family in Israel shared a pic from my private Instagram of my pentagram tattoo, and they assumed it was a satanic symbol. A lot to deal with now.
Yes. We all, it's terrible. I still have a hard time. Peter will say to me sometimes, yeah, but that's not really an issue anymore. When I ask the question of, like, are you in the broom closet stuff, he's like, yeah, but nobody really cares. No, some people really do care still.
Yeah.
It really is an issue for some people.
Yeah, well, that's Dana was just saying how she keeps everything to herself.
Yeah. It's hard. South is totally, it's like a different world.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite tarot card or tarot deck?
You do see she came prepared, right?
I am well aware she came prepared.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I will say tarot is a big part of my practice, a big part of my life. And so it's hard to pick one favorite deck. That was like
that was your question.
Fairly daunting.
I remember 3.
Yeah, so I came out with 3.
This is the next half
Because
hour.
this is not going to be that bad. Okay, so Pagan Otherworlds, I connected with. Actually, let me start at the beginning.
Do you want me to show them up closer so they know what they're talking about?
All right, let's start with Witch's Tarot. Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. This one for me was the first deck that I feel like connected me to what tarot is supposed to mean. This was the deck that I was able to say, I can see based on these images what this is supposed to mean.
Steven says they're all your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
We all know.
Yeah, I
we
know.
all
If you're
know
keeping
this
track
too.
and you're
We're
drinking
well
a lot,
aware.
you're drunk already. I got it. I
Yep.
know.
Mhm.
Sherry, don't feel bad. I just took down Mabin. So did Joe.
Yeah.
Of course, we were both stuck on the same one.
That's of course you.
And decided to change our altars to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you were.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Oh, and this is the back of them.
All 300 decks.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Isn't there 500?
I have no idea. No idea. Like seriously, no idea. But so this is a great reading deck for me, and I do bring it out a lot when I'm doing readings for people that I know are okay with witchcraft imagery, but it has to be specifically that.
Yeah, that one does display it though nicely.
Yes.
Mhm.
This one is Pagan Otherworlds. This is the first, I would say, pip-ish deck, which the pips are in the minor arcana if they are not a whole lot of pictorial images. I can read with them, but a lot of people have a really hard time because they need that image to read from. This is the first deck that has mostly just the, like 6 cups on an image, but has something
Creepy moon.
to give you an idea of what that card is about in the background. And
this
so
one.
Pagan Otherworlds was a really good earth-based deck for me. And it's just such a good feeling deck. I
These
love
are in
this
order,
deck.
aren't they?
What?
These in order?
They might be, but it's okay because
Okay.
I'm not teaching with those kind of decks anymore, so it's all right.
I was going to say, because they are not in order anymore.
None of my decks have to be in order anymore, except the ones that I kept out that I have to do unboxings on, which are over there. So that was like a really good feeling deck. I love the way that deck feels, and that the readings that I get from it are always super on point. I like that one a lot.
That's important though.
Yes.
I like this one.
And this one is kind of currently my favorite of the probably last, however long I got it. It's a year at least, I
It's
think.
gilded.
It is gilded. This is Bonestone and Earthflesh. And this deck really spoke to me.
Ooh, I
I
love
just love
that
this
card.
Every time you talk about it, I always think Bone Thugs at home.
That's hilarious.
Every time it comes through my head, I can't
That's
help it.
hilarious. Yes, this deck, the imagery is incredible. The book is amazing. The 2 women who made this deck are awesome. It's Avalon Cameron is the one who was the author and, the initial creator, and Anna Turian is the artist, who I absolutely adore.
Love
All of
that
Anna
one.
Turian's decks. But this one in particular really speaks to me, and just speaks to your soul, like everything about this deck. And I think part of it was because when they did this deck, when they were creating this deck, they did a lot of it on YouTube, and literally you could watch them creating an image and tweaking it based on what we said to them, and it was super interactive on how they made the deck, which I was amazing.
Sherry said it's like $1,200 on eBay for that deck now.
Holy fuck!
And you ruined
I'm
it.
so sorry. I didn't ruin it. I'm using it. It's a good thing.
She sent you 5.
Aw, thank you, Kay.
Thank you.
Love you, sweetheart.
Yep, she says, love you and your vids, Jen.
Thank you. I love you.
I did not read that correctly.
And the individual card, my favorite individual card has always been the 9 of Swords. It's the Nightmares card.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's just about creativity. I can tell an artist's creativity based on what they do with it. If that card is nothing and just looks like whatever, and I don't really connect with it, I feel like they didn't work hard enough.
Well, but it's good to have a criteria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's we can skip that one.
No, it's not necessarily
Oh,
your
yeah.
stalker card. Do you have a stalker card?
Oh,
That
yeah.
seems to keep showing up for you.
So
Tower.
it's funny. It depends on what you're going through in life,
I
right?
feel like it, right?
It seriously is always, again, cyclical. Everything goes in cycles. And it depends on what you're going through in life. Currently, I think the card that keeps coming up for me has been the 8 of Swords, which is about having control over things even when you don't feel like you do, and you are putting your own restrictions on things and not just throwing off those restrictions and moving forward the way you're supposed to.
Like getting out of the house.
Like getting out of the house. Yep, absolutely.
Just checking.
And you know, and that tells you really everything. If you have a stalker card, it's because it's going to continue to bring it up for you until you fix it.
That was it. Okay. How many decks do you have?
Go count them right now.
Right now, we want to count.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
Ballpark, like Vegas guess you've got.
Break it down like tarot decks, oracle decks, runic decks. Yeah.
Runes 0.
I know.
Now I have like 3 or 4.
That's more just teasing. But
terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah, like the number compared to everything else is not where it should be at all.
Because it doesn't have a representation.
I know, and they're always the same. They don't. There hasn't been a deck
it's like a
really
pit rune deck.
Yeah. I think. All right, if I had to like ballpark it, I would say I probably have.
It's gotta be over 500.
I bet you I have 300 tarot and like 150 to 200 oracle.
So, like Joe said, about 500.
Yeah, that's probably a good-ish guess.
You counted at some point, but I don't remember what the number was.
Yeah, that was a long time ago though. That was like 2 years, 3 years ago now, and
that was like pretty me.
Yeah,
pretty me.
Yeah, it's yeah. Don't forget, like 10 pre-ordered, or believe it or not, Sherry, I have to say, for the most part, I've been doing really well with that. I like don't go on to Kickstarter anymore at all on purpose. I have, I think, one deck no, that's not true. I have two decks because Baba Studios deck has been pre-ordered forever. Whenever that's supposed to come, as it was supposed to be February, but apparently it's late.
Yeah, pre-order that keeps on getting pushed back. I'm very irritated by.
Yeah, and the Alice deck that is coming out. That is going to be horrible, and it's going to be a pep deck, but I had to get it anyway because it's an Alice in Wonderland Disney deck. So I'm still waiting for it.
Now, your next question is, do you have a favorite divination method and describe how it works for you? We are not going to do that.
No, I'm going to interject Danny's question.
Oh, what is his question?
Danny's question is, if you had to pick one form of divination to do for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Can we do other than tarot? Can we add other than tarot?
Yeah, well, we can add...
That's why I was going to switch that.
Yeah.
Because we know you like tarot.
Yeah.
There's a million videos.
This was close enough. I'm like, this is a good spot for Danny's.
Yeah.
Would it be tarot, though, for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay.
It would be tarot.
So if you couldn't do tarot.
Yeah, if it was not tarot and it had to be something else, I think straight up mediumship. Just connecting with spirit and connecting with messages that you get from spirit and relaying those messages.
How would you connect, though?
She took a mediumship class.
Yeah.
Is it just through meditation?
It is. No. It is just opening yourself up enough. Like there's sometimes where we're sitting here that I'll get a message. I don't always say it.
It's like, kick these people out of my house. Yeah.
No, that message is from Peter.
Well, if that's the case, let me just choose what he's going to watch on TV.
No, it's it really is though, and that's one of the things I really need to do better. But I have to learn how to teach mediumship better because I only can do it my way, and I haven't really figured out the teaching piece of it.
I'm willing to be a guinea pig.
I know we will try because there's definitely methods that we can try.
Because that's something I used to connect to naturally, but don't anymore.
And again,
but I haven't put that effort in yet.
I was going to say a lot of it comes from trusting yourself in order to say it.
Yeah.
And then hearing positive feedback and knowing that you're not always going to get the feedback that you want, and that doesn't mean you're wrong.
Yeah. Then I was 19 and 20, and I just didn't care enough about what other people thought.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm terrible at reading questions, talking to you, and reading. Just
Squirrel?
I'm
What?
not
You're a
ignoring
squirrel?
anybody. I'm just terrible at this shit.
How could you possibly be a squirrel on this channel?
Are you able to practice openly, or are you in the broom closet with your family?
Well, I try really
Peter
hard
doesn't
to
know,
hide
does
who
he?
I am,
No.
but
Peter
Her
has-
husband is completely
Peter has
oblivious.
no clue.
yeah, there is. I'm fairly certain there is no one that doesn't know who I am and what I believe. There are still, I will tell you, there are still people in my family who do not necessarily accept what I believe, and I still get those weird. Like a couple of years ago, when I actually went to a Thanksgiving of my family, which is a weird thing, I still get, yeah, but you still really just believe in God, right?
Yeah, people don't get it. Like some people just can't wrap their head around it.
That's not how it works. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So
when was the last time you were in Lilydale? Okay.
I was a kid. I have not been to Lilydale since I was a kid, which kills me because
that's
I know people who live in Lilydale and have been invited to their houses, and I just hasn't been.
Mom is a witch.
That's not a real question.
No, the broom closet wasn't a real question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's because I already did the divination one.
That's all right.
I've done the last 4 questions.
Well, I didn't know you were hogging them.
Well, you talk enough. You think you ask a question. This is on camera.
I don't care.
This is when I just sit back and get to laugh.
Or you leave the room if it gets bad enough.
Yeah,
I've got to go over here.
They have put me in the middle for a reason, so I'm not allowed to escape.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're holding her down.
Hot flashback!
Right? Oh, well, I know this one, but it's a good one for everybody. Do you connect with a specific element and describe how you incorporate it with your practice?
Yes.
It's not air.
Yes, very, very much so.
This is where I have to say, and I want to learn more from you on this because, like, okay, the witch's burrs, I literally picture you on, like, a hilltop.
And then it blowing back in her face.
Like, yeah, like, I know that's not it. But air so doesn't connect with me.
You're so funny. It's because you're such a fire person. It's yes, and I love this question because, and it hasn't been until I would say the last 2 or 3 years that element really has come into focus with my practice and how it works and how it connects, and it connects in every way to everything. It's such an integral part of every single way I feel stuff and how I go about getting to do something and how messages come through, and it like integrates itself with every single way that I practice. I am air, obviously. I am such an air in every way. I'm air, and I think when you come down and you think about how air connects to everything else, that will help to decide for you how you can recognize the connections more. Mm-hmm. For me, it's vibrations that come through the air. When I talk about how I connect to somebody, in the middle of tarot or something, for me, it's that web of connection. So I'm plucking that web and seeing the vibrations go to where they are and connecting that way. For healing, my vibrational energy comes through. I feel, don't laugh about vibrations. Vibrations are awesome.
Nobody was laughing.
I saw that.
I burped in my mouth and I blew it that way.
That's so gross.
I mean, we're talking about air, but we were not mocking your vibration.
No. I was being polite.
Yeah, so how it connects with healing.
What did he say?
That is
Ty connects with parts. Yeah.
Oh yes, you have no idea. My poor
they were playing and he pointed at me. I said, No, get that cannon out of here.
Yeah.
But in every way, everything that I connect to with air, it's very clearly air. It just is, and everything I do comes down to how I feel air and connect with that. It's everything. Everything integrates to that.
That's cool.
That's why we're never on the same page.
Yeah, that's so true. Where Joseph is metal and I'm air, and it just really is.
And the reality is, I'm the fire that goes in between the two.
Yes. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore.
No.
We just have. It's good though that we recognize that. I can't even tell you how much that helped me. I just adored that aha moment.
I'm writing off Joe now because he's.
Oh my god! No, it was so much different. It was like, oh my god, no wonder we don't connect like that. I have to work harder and differently.
All right. Did you have a particular aha moment with your spirituality, or was it a gradual process?
This is really hard because I have like daily aha moments, so it's hard to like pick one and go, that one. That was it.
I can see just in the short times with my stuff, you have many aha moments.
Yes.
Yes. Once you remember something.
your Kindle.
Yes.
Wait, I know where it is.
I know something.
Yes. No, it's very. I think it's very difficult. I will say that probably the biggest one for me has to do with the YouTube channel. I think, and it was like a recognition that the Beginner Witch series was starting to take off, and like. Sounds. I hate to do this, so I kind of go back and forth.
Actually affecting people.
Yes, and so it made it so even though I didn't give a shit about numbers, and I still would be doing it even if there was like 12 people still on my channel. It took me years and years and years. I think I was year 4 before I hit like 1,000. But something happened, and people started to message me to ask me questions, and that I suddenly went, okay, you know what? There's something with this. I have the ability to help people connect to what they believe. And so now that was like the aha, okay, keep going down the same path.
Yeah, you realize people were listening as well.
And understanding. And, yeah.
Now, Jen, I know you don't work with any crystals, but if you feel drawn to crystals, which one in particular do you work with regularly?
One.
And I know it's carnelian, so we'll just move on. So.
I'm guessing that there's probably not one person watching who couldn't answer this for me.
What is Jen's favorite crystal to work with? Mikey, you're not allowed to answer. They're all talking with each other. They weren't actually listening.
Initial, special, and different, but once other people realized it was a wow moment.
Oh, that's cute.
Dana's so cute.
Oh, MA.
Yep.
Blue fluorite.
Oh, Dana with the specification.
Yep.
Just when it says, lab.
No, she said ELB.
Yes, she said ELB.
Blue fluorite. It's blue fluorite. Blue fluorite for me helps me to connect to the web of consciousness.
We just like lab because it flashes.
Yeah, I love the lab, absolutely. Blue fluorite helps me connect to the web of consciousness. And Mexican onyx, that's it. Mikey's banned.
Michelle Erskine said carnelian.
She's held down. No banning. Thinking of you saying that, this is totally off topic, but you need to read Kellyanna's book because they talk about plucking the strings and
Really?
Yes.
See, I totally thought I made part.
Well,
except then I found the word, the WYRD word, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. Now I have a name to go with it.
They don't name everything, but with the Norns and
Yeah.
Ready for the next question that has a million answers?
Oh, what is it? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pick one.
One. Favorite season or Sabbath?
One. And it can't be the one coming up.
I know it. The next one.
I was going to say that's your answer. Whatever one's next. Rainbow Moonstone.
Yeah.
Oh, my game. That is seriously a very, very difficult question for me because part of my path is the cycle. Like I adore the cyclical nature of things and teaching about the entire wheel and why that fits into everything in your life.
33 people.
So that's really difficult. It's a hard question.
No, I see that for you because you do have a lot of emphasis on how the wheel of the year keeps turning.
It's Sam Hain. We're going to move on. Or Lilyamas? Is that
No.
Okay, but she can't answer this. She can't see past tomorrow.
Well,
If you could see 5 and 10 years into the future of our circle, what role do you see yourself
those are
in?
circle questions.
What role are you going to be in?
Yeah, what role are you
What role do you want to be in?
I hopefully to be teaching one of you assholes how to replace me when I'm gone.
Yeah, but I'm too close to you in age. What am I going to be? The
that's
stepdad?
true. You'll be there for like 3 years and then you'll go.
I'll be the substitute.
Damn it, man. We need younger people.
Right hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just teaching like the next generation.
Is there any role you wish you could step into?
I said the whole entire year.
The whole entire
Your
year.
favorite season is the
there
wheel
any
of the
role-
year.
I will say sometimes I wish I could.
Because this is my question I just came up with based off that.
All right.
Yes, I had to pick her.
She's
This
only
is
20.
stuff I don't
She's
normally
only-
talk about. So, how far do you want to go down that rabbit hole? All right, so there's...
Well, apparently 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
At those specific locations.
Again, these are all her
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
But I'm asking her an actual question.
Yes. There's something that happens, and unless... I don't know. It's such a weird place to be. There's something that happens when you are the leader. And it's not a role that I ever would have picked for myself to say, I want to be a leader of. It's not about that for me. It's about being able to teach.
Yeah.
When she's near the end, do not drink any Kool-Aid she gives you.
Are you going to Jones down her asses?
There's something though that happens. It's a lonely place, and I don't talk about that very much because I know.
I
don't want people to think like that I don't appreciate where I am or so. I don't know. It's a lonely place. It's a different dynamic for me than it is for everyone else in the circle. So it's hard sometimes to feel like I'm a part of it, but not a part of it.
See, and to us, you are it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not it as in like Jesus or God or anything. Like, bitch, please.
No.
But
we'll bring you down to that level.
Yeah, I will knock you off that pedestal fast.
Yes.
But you are that person that is the connecting fiber.
Unless we're crucifying her, then I'm all on board.
Well, yeah, but upside down, please.
I was gonna say not right side up though.
No.
Okay. I'm down with that. That's fine.
Can we do her upside
We gotta
down,
pull.
right side up?
We gotta pull on her somehow.
We go to stand it up, it's perfectly done. What the fuck?
Jen'd be like, are you kidding me? Commune elder.
Yeah, there you go.
That made us sound like a guild mill, damn.
That alone, I mean, where have you been?
That's
So
what
I
makes
talk
it
about
sound
wanting
that
a
way.
commune where everyone lives together. Oh, all right, wait, never mind. I'm gonna scroll and get off topic, but there's an episode of Legacies. Does anybody watch Legacies?
Yeah.
I have to record this part of the episode because it literally Peter stopped it and woke me up.
Is that the one where they're in the crystal thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they called it Witchapalooza.
They did?
Yes, I was like, wait, that's mine.
No, didn't she say, what is this? Is it like... Or...
Witchapalooza. She said,
Yeah.
"Is it like?" But not witchy. But she said,
Yeah.
"Is it like Witchapalooza?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's totally like us, but on crack
Mhm.
as a cult.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I have to record it and like put it on our channel because it's hilarious. I kept going, "Oh my God, that's us! Oh, that's us!" But in a bad way, us. It was fun. Okay, go.
James Crystal would be
I want you and I to be the crazy old lady sitting on the porch yelling
Fuck
at everyone
yes.
on the commune.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just saying.
Hell yeah.
These are my plans.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Staying in the 5 to 10 year jump, what would you like seeing us do as a community? Or for the community?
That's a big deal for me. I really see us reaching out to. It sounds weird to say to the world, but to our
We already reached out to
individual
the world.
communities.
You have people in Australia, Europe.
Yeah, that's true. We do. Yeah. To our communities individually, though, too. I really feel like we can do a lot, and at this point, I feel like it's our responsibility as pagans to do a lot for the polyamorous pagan orgy sex cult. To do a lot for the community to integrate what we do with the community so that they understand what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
And I think we can do, because we live in Orleans County, I think we can do a lot for a little bit more closed-minded of an area to help expand.
I agree.
See, you guys always talk about reaching out to the Rochester witches and stuff, but the Buffalo witches, there's not that much of a following or anything, or there is the Western New York group and stuff like that, but there would be so much that you could do to benefit those people. And
Yeah, because you're yes, you're still closer to Rochester now, but you are kind of in the middle.
Yeah, that's true. I am.
For different things.
Yeah.
I go to some doctors in one way and some doctors in the other.
My doctors are more fun.
Funny.
I don't know. What do mine prescribe me?
Yeah.
I think my doctors are more fun.
Yeah, that's true.
No, the doctor's out by me where you get your stuff. Yes.
Well, but there's one the other way too. One thing you're currently interested in learning about in our circle.
Oh, I like Mikey's idea though. Sorry. I'm sorry to Squirrel, but
So,
yes. And write that down, Mikey. We need to
Yes.
discuss that.
Scribe.
Because it's, who was that just talking to about that? Joyce, I think. We were just talking. So here's, I'm going to out our whole thing now. Peter and I were sitting here talking about what we could do. And he had brought these little like square coasters that have like a grid work thing on them. And I'm like, oh, I could make them like grids for energy for Ukraine and stuff. And then we could sell them. And I'm like, nope, back up. Nope.
then we could sell them.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, all right, I can't do that. So I'm like, then we could give them. I don't know if that would really help. Like, could we sell them and like give money to a thing? But I don't know what one to trust.
Yeah, that's
And that,
tough.
so like, I went down this whole rabbit hole and then backed it all the way up. And I'm like, I don't know what we could do. So, all right, Squirrel, go ahead. Sorry. What are we doing?
What do you want to learn about in our circle?
All of you individually more, and how to help you connect to your path.
I'm scribing. I picture him with a sombrero.
What?
Pay attention to your chats. He said he always pictures me with a sombrero. It's in the chat.
Why did I not see that?
Because you aren't as good as we are. Well, this sounds like a crazy question to ask her. I'm not asking that. What do you want to teach people in the circle?
Oh.
Well, it's not that far-fetched. Like,
No, but
let's skip to the next one.
yeah, that one just seems like
everything.
Would
Yeah.
you, would you
How to be Mickey?
would you share some tips for beginners that you have learned so far on your journey that you wish someone else shared with you?
Yeah.
Think back to when you were first starting out and don't say the generic thing of, I wish I just would have told people or reached out to you.
If it works for you, it works. If it works for you, it works.
Swear to
Is really the only thing you need to know for this entire path. But I won't just say that. I will say though, the biggest thing is to know yourself enough to trust yourself. When you feel something, to trust it. When you feel that energy, when you are learning to connect to what is, whatever that is that you think it is, you have to learn to trust it. And if you need to test it for yourself, then that's how you need to test it. If you,
I don't know. Mikey's
Jess said
covering
she's
up.
watching, always watching.
because Jess wants, she's watching for the scribe. She's like, I'll be scribe.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah. So it's so much about
What? I would never do that. Not sure. I mean,
it's so much about learning about yourself, almost more than it is about spirit, about universe, about is truly knowing who you are internally to be able to trust those things that you then feel with everything else.
one of the biggest things it taught me, though, personally, was that to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like
oh yeah.
the it's okay to have fun while you're doing all of this.
Yeah. It shouldn't be this totally.
Yeah.
That's just not how things should be.
Oh, I love you too, yes. She's grateful for it.
No, I love.
Because I know
Yes.
you can't.
I
do
do
that
love
for her.
Yes.
She's awesome. I
Yes
love
is the cutest.
For
I
a
love
long
seeing her
time, I did not
pictures of her.
realize how young Yaz was.
Right?
And then you start seeing her like
I
prom
love
pictures,
seeing
and I'm
her
like,
pictures.
She could pass for older.
Yeah.
She was out at it was on a Snapchat story, like out at a club, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
to be young.
I know.
But no, the club's in like Europe. Like she looked like she was in like a vampire cave or something.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
So
it was
awesome.
really cool.
so cool. Red pussy for life. Yay, Dana.
Where the fuck did it go?
Somebody had to say it was okay.
Oh, okay.
To
Oh,
put it
okay.
on there.
Even the star.
All right, here's one of my.
So that's it. We're done.
No.
Far from it.
Yeah, you are so.
Now we're
far
off
from-
script.
Right, so wait, that's an hour. It only took me an hour to answer the normal
That's
question.
not bad.
Yay.
That's and a couple of the new ones because we
Not bad.
Snips.
Snuck some in there.
Snatch.
Words.
Snatch.
Where did Mikey's first question go? Okay. What path have you been putting off researching the
And
longest,
that's the zombie one.
and why? Shut up. You ruin every joke. Blame him, Mikey. Write it down. Write it down. I'm talking to this, and they're up there,
Yep.
and I keep talking to this.
I think it's funny. Mikey is the one that brought in a lot of the Bible stuff that I had just closed off.
Yeah.
You know,
Returning
like,
to Catholicism.
yeah, because something when you come to this path, I don't want to say normally, but
for the majority.
For the majority of people, they come to this path because they're running away from a different path that was not for them. And so the first thing that happened was it took me a long time to connect to a male deity, because I totally shut that off, because that's all we grew up with was the patriarchal deity. And so it was like, nope, I'm not connecting to that. Thanks. Yeah. I'm good with all of my goddesses. And
I think I did that for
fuck that penis
too.
thing.
Yeah.
But then so that took probably 10 years.
Fuck that penis thing.
Well, I mean, I didn't quite say that, but
it took like 10 years. And I have to say, I think when I finally opened up to that, it's because the horned god was like, okay, I'm here now, and you can't ignore me anymore.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And so that part of it took a long time, but still, even though I tried, and I always have tried to say on my channel, like, Christian witches, I have no problem with Christian witches stuff. The problem always has come in with the
judgment.
Yeah, the judgment of judgy Christians trying to tell me,
of the judgy people.
Yep, that I could not practice the way I practice.
Yeah.
And so, but part of that always was the Bible, and I'm like, yeah, well, the Bible has a lot of interesting things in it, but I have no interest in going back there. You know, to me, it always seemed like a step backwards.
But I do like for Mikey's class, I mean, I know this is your interview, but while you're saying it, it really made me stop and think at things from a whole different vantage point.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I always love learning that stuff, at least.
Absolutely. Which is funny, because I believe Mikey has said before that part of why he did that was something that I said to him about the Bible a long ass time ago. And I remember saying that, and I believe it still, but it's something that was just because I knew he was interested in that it was just a drop that I know this, and I had thought about this, but I let it go. Like, this is what I knew, and now I'm done with that. So that's probably the thing that I ignored for the longest time. Like, I don't need to know anything about that. It's okay. I'm done with that part.
I feel like we have a follow-up from Ben.
Okay.
That just came in.
Yes.
What path do you know the least about that you would like to learn more about?
Oh, there's so many. Like, I know I say this like that. I know I don't know everything, but I know I don't know. There's so many things that I feel like I still need to learn so much. I'm so excited that I still have so much to learn.
Well, I think Witchy Palooza, you could almost just have, like we did pantheons last year, you could have each pantheon be a theme.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know,
because there's so much in there. I think for me, the actual, am I saying that because it was Ben? No. Because I have a whole lot of druidry books that I have lined up.
You want to climb a tree naked with
There
Ben?
is so much though with the
dirty
earth part.
Yep.
Because I'm more air. There's so much with the earth part that I know I connect with earth too, but that I don't explore that as much as I would love to. And I know I connect with that. That I think that's a good path for me to explore too.
If you want to stick to anything else that's in that chat, I've got a very long list from Jess Bennett that I can read from.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Just saying.
Joseph got when Jen said that fucking penis thing. Hold on, we're reading comments. Sorry.
I'll pull up my other chat.
Yes, Elohim, and then that was it. Yep. And you learned yes, of Jesus witchy stuff. Yes. Yeah. I'll write down a yes to your Facebook specifically for all your awesome family.
Yes.
Yes.
Tag team Pen and Jess. Come on in,
Yes.
Jen. We've got cookies.
Mama, you are my favorite teacher. I learned so much from you. I love you too.
Jackson says, ask his question, please.
Well, I'm starting from the beginning. Just
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing, was starting at the top and working my way down.
Ooh.
Some of these are from months ago,
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
and some are from today.
Well, Hexon came with this brilliant idea that we should like set up circle interviews. And
Oh, just read the question. Enough shade. Let's see.
I'm looking
Where's
for his freaking question.
okay?
Me too, Serana. That's kind of what I mean. I have like a physical aversion to Christian things. It was hard for me for a very long
I just got
time
to
to
the
even
putting off
explore that at all.
Was there an experience in your journey that frightened you into thinking maybe this is not the path for me? I like your questions. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, I have Mikey's question before.
I asked one of Mikey's.
Oh, the other one.
Okay.
And then I'll ask Hexon's.
Here's the thing. I don't know if this is an experience that leaders of other faiths would feel at certain points or not. I suspect that it kind of is. There's when you have an experience that you really feel deeply that you are responsible for another person's connection. There's something that it's like when you become a parent for the first time and you think, I'm totally and completely responsible for them. The responsibility comes across sometimes that there have been moments in my teachings that I have thought, I don't know if that went well enough to not to save the person. It's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like did I come across well enough? Did I speak things into existence so that they could understand and connect? Because I know this is supposed to be the path that they're on. I feel that deeply and truly. And then the responsibility aspect comes in of, if I didn't, can I let that go? Can I not beat myself up enough? Like, okay, I did not do well enough. I fucked that up. I should have done better. I should have studied more. I should have said something differently. There's stuff that, and I'm sure that must happen in all faiths.
I would imagine.
But it's hard with this one because we don't have a doctrine.
Yeah.
We don't have a set, this is what you teach.
Yeah.
It's
Needs to be followed.
yeah, it's very much, if it works for you, it works stuff. And I totally believe in that. But it is sometimes daunting to think, what if I could have done more? Mm-hmm. And I failed, I missed that.
Well, coming off of a non-serious topic, what would be the first step of your zombie apocalypse survival plan?
Taking over Costco.
Not bad.
That's not a bad plan.
That's a pretty damn
I feel
good
like that was a
plan.
movie.
We've talked about this a lot, my family
I was
and I.
just gonna say, I feel like she already had this prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey, you didn't catch her off guard.
My boys and
Bad
I
Mikey.
have talked extensively
That's
about zombie apocalypse plans, and we would take over Costco, and because they have the big metal doors, we should be able to secure that. Okay. I have an extensive plan
Okay,
in place.
Mikey, you did a bad
Like
job.
we know who to call first, and who we would allow in and who we wouldn't.
Wait, who is getting?
Oh, we don't know about
Yes, we would.
Yeah.
And the boys. I'm not scared of the boys either.
No.
Yeah.
I'm flanked by my Polish relatives. I'm good. When you first began your journey compared to now, what is one of the biggest things you've learned that was completely different than what you had originally perceived it to be? You just did good.
Who answered this part?
That was good.
Yeah.
I think completely different is in your imagination when you think of connecting to spirit and what you think is supposed to happen, and what the movies show you and what your own understanding. Nothing can prepare you for when that connection actually happens and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm aware.
That was it? It really that was the connection? Because you question,
Mm-hmm.
am I fucking nuts? Is that just my imagination coming through? Is that I mean, unless you are born a medium and can see
Yeah.
spirit, which is not where I come from, not where 90% of people come from.
Yeah.
It is not at all what I thought it was supposed to be. It is much more like, this feels like my imagination. I know now there's a little bit of a difference because Joseph's butt is getting sore.
And Joseph, you know you'll be zombie food within 24 hours.
How dare you?
Oh, at Serrano, if I'm saying it wrong.
Serrano,
Serrano. Sorry. Yeah, I've learned about some of the Afro-Caribbean, just a little bit because of the Bridge Italian.
Yes, yep.
This is my issue at the moment.
No ghost Patrick
Yes.
Swayze moments.
Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't just say that?
Yeah. I mean, now you get stuff flying across the room one time. You get shit falling off the shelves.
She
You
did
know,
try
all
to
that stuff
garbage
comes
pick a
into.
pottery wheel.
But yes, I did try to garbage, and
We
it's
literally
super
touched
way too
it.
fucking heavy. You
Yeah.
cannot lift those fucking things.
Yeah.
Why? And how did the person get it on the side of the road?
She was trying
And
to look
why
for
would
one of
they
the
put
old
it
ones
on the
that you
side
do
of the road?
with your feet.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they did that to me on purpose just to say, aha, you could have it if you could lift it, bitch.
No, that's
Right.
actually where they do their pottery. That's where they...
And I was trying to steal it.
Yeah, that's their pottery
All right,
and
whatever.
garden.
Fine.
And you tried to take
No,
it
it
from
was in
them.
Fairport. You don't understand. It was not. It was like, I'm 31. Okay. Am I answering your question? What the
I
hell?
don't remember
Oh,
the
yes.
question.
Yeah, because Stephen said, yes, this is the issue I have. And I know that, Stephen. I so know that.
I thought he
It's
was talking
because
about the
you
2x4
think
that I'm sitting on.
this is your imagination. You really, and you question,
Oh,
and
Stephen
you.
and I could talk some more, I think.
There is nothing that can get you out of that until you learn to trust yourself and then speak it aloud. You have, if once you start speaking it aloud, or if you receive a message and you give a message and someone says to you, oh my gosh, I don't know how you knew that, but that was really good, you start to trust more.
Oh. It happened so suddenly last night. The word Netflix popped into my mind, and then this morning realized the subscription for it made me go into overdraft. And I was like, how did I know that?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just little things.
I think
Subscriptions
those-
should never make you go into overdraft.
Right. But I think those are the things, though, that make you start going, okay, I've got to trust it.
Yeah.
I've got to trust it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hot in
I'm
here.
actually having a hot flash really bad.
Yeah, but it is warm in here, too. Yeah. Do you have one?
A fan.
Should I go to Ben's next or
Um,
Jess?
Well, we have Hexens.
Oh, yeah, Hexens.
When on your spiritual path did you learn about your abilities and how did you enhance them? And then we have Krista and Jay's on here too.
Yeah, see why I said I figured I'd let you have those, and I had enough room.
Yeah. Yeah. We had one initiate go over.
Okay, so
Nah.
abilities. I guess it's right.
You might want to open it. You'll get more air
Where's your fan?
It depends on what you're
in
gonna call
the, in
abilities.
the, in the workroom.
Because to me, everybody, it's here's the thing. The things that people call abilities are not special things. Normally, 90% of them are not special. Everybody has them. It's a muscle that you have to work at.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say like when did I discover it's always a gradual process. It's easier, I think, if you have someone outside of yourself that will that you feel comfortable enough with to share, that can then say yes, that is absolutely right on, you're correct, yes, or even no, I didn't get that, but I can see where you would have thought that because I had this experience and you might have picked up on that, or there was a mediumship class. I did a mediumship class
You gotta get grapes.
years ago.
Peter won't let us talk.
I did a mediumship class years ago now. It was probably I think around the time I started my channel, maybe.
Yeah, they're all over my newsfeed lately. All over.
And
Ads.
like in someone's house in Fairport. And they were both very good. They were trained in Lilydale.
Hexen says that's not his question.
And
It's literally listed as your question.
Message us your question then.
Yes.
if you got hot flash, if you cool your wrist, sometimes it helps.
What are you doing?
I don't know how to cool my wrist.
Like, this is what I thought too. Fan my wrist, Joe. Fan my wrists. Jen and
I thought of like an ice pack around her wrist or something.
That's probably smarter.
Jen and I will literally go for the most literal version
Yes.
of it. Stop!
Oh my god.
No. Cut it out.
They're talking to their vaginas. By the way.
It was from a witch book. It told us to.
Yeah, it literally told you to tell your vagina not to do that or something. We were like,
Yeah, stop cramping.
Stop.
cut it out.
If you're having like a heavy flow, stop!
Yes. Yes.
I
I mean, run cold water.
But I think Tyler wants us to flat faster.
Yes. Someone get him advice.
I love you, Kay.
Okay.
Mama trying to ascend.
Yeah. Well, I
don't know.
How do you enhance your abilities?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you? Wow, that was the question. Where the fuck did I go?
I don't know. Your wrists got cold.
And then mediumship
Yes.
and hot flashes
Yes.
and the shit show commence.
Yes.
Yeah. I the way to enhance them, the simple answer to that is to share them. And the more you share them, the more recognition you get back that yes, you are correct. Yes, this is I did actually connect. Yes, this is whatever. And you have to, again, that's why you have to know yourself enough to be able to step on the ledge. It's not easy. It's not easy to step out and say, I have a message for you. Your grandfather's your grandfather dead because your grandfather told me because, you know, you could step on your toes and say, yeah, no, my grandfather is dead.
Are there any mediumship classes you would specifically recommend? I don't know, Jen, are you ever going to start teaching classes?
I so need to start teaching. I have to go back and find my mediumship teachers because I really would like to involve them in some way if there's any way possible because they were awesome. And I think the reason they were awesome is because likely
Cool your wrist, Jen starts flying.
is to focus squirrels, focus.
You could fall off.
Sit back. All right, wait.
No, because I was
we're
laughing.
riding a 2x4.
Yeah,
Wait. Can you still see me?
I
Okay.
want to be by your feet.
All right.
Yeah,
So
because she thinks she's
sit at my
above us.
Yes, yes. Now we have to be below her and fanning
I'm allowed
her.
to put my butt all the way on the couch.
Yes. Here, if we
Well,
both
it's
fart,
terrible.
it'll go straight up to her. Here. Yes, here we go.
time. No,
As if on command.
Hi, Bubba Bear. Hi, baby. I love you. It's
Are we
okay.
playing on the furniture?
Yes, I know. I'm getting too loud, huh, Bubba?
Oh my god.
Yes. These people that I took the mediumship classes, they were a middle-aged meaning probably in their 60s.
So around your age?
Bougie couple in Fairport.
She'll punch.
Not Ty brings his rope. We're playing! Yay!
Get hot and sweaty. Cool your wrists and fly with Flash.
Yes.
With Flash Unlimited.
These are so funny. Okay. Bougie. They were a bougie couple in Fairport. They were like a bougie rich couple. Not at all who, like when I think of shut up and listen!
Why am I getting hit?
I don't know.
The abuse in this cult.
Yes.
They were called social services. Yes, that she called social services. You're okay.
Yes.
They were not at all. When I think of somebody teaching me mediumship, I'm thinking of like, you know, a boho
Like some old
chick
hippie.
with yeah, absolutely. This was not at all that. So I was skeptical when I walked in the door. He's like, please play with me, please.
He's trying to put it from his mouth to yours.
Please play with me. I was skeptical when I walked in the door. They were freaking amazing. They were very good about, and it was much more of a step-by-step process than I thought. You know, like I thought we would be there, okay, you're going to meditate, and then do you feel that?
Open your
That
mind.
is- yeah, it was not that. It was, okay, first step is you put your tongue, the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, because that opens up.
It's not where
There
I
is
thought I was going.
No, not at all where you thought.
Or
that
where
opens,
Bobby thought.
yeah, no. That opens up a he's snorting. We have a snort.
I love it.
Oh my god. I think you're off the floor.
That opens up a chakra in the roof of
I
your
don't know. I
mouth.
thought the hierarchy seemed right.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. When you all are ready.
Drink break.
Yes.
I love when people surprise you like that, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you need to start grounding, you three?
Probably.
Yes. Yes.
I think Jen and I pretty much already are grounded.
Yeah, right.
Look, it goes, Mother Maiden Crown. Anyways, continue.
Are you a maiden?
Yes, I am.
Is that what your grinder profile says?
Hold on, no, but Joseph snorted. Got it. Scribe attack.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
I know we need.
Mikey
we need.
has noted that down in the notes just for reference. Completes the Kundalini circuit. Thank you.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
That's it. That's exactly it. So it connects everything that you need when you're connected. But there's very specific things, and you would not expect that. So that was I don't know what the question was anymore at all.
How do you enhance your
Enhance? Yes. Yep. So that's it.
So by working those things, and
Yes,
if it's
it
a class,
is
it's
a muscle
class,
that you
if
have to
it's-
work on, and sharing it. The more you share it, the more you will enhance it.
Very
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to do Ben's second one.
Okay.
Spirit animal / guide question. Native culture says we have two, one that appears black and one that appears white. But I'm assuming what's yours? That's not there.
Thank you for the lesson,
Yes.
and moving on.
It is just, yes. It is just a statement. Continue.
I think that I know that a lot of people talk about a spirit animal that stays with them for life. I have not found that to be true. I have found different spirit animals come with
I've
me
been told to hush.
during different seasons of my life, during different things that have come up. I have different animals that come in to help. So I feel like I know I've talked before that for a long time the peacock was my spirit animal, and that was because my self-esteem was not great, and it was something about being a mother.
Almost like an affirmation,
yes.
having the peacock.
Yes, because when you're a mother,
So I shouldn't embrace the whole moose. because I wholeheartedly
you guys
disagree.
asked for this. I'm just saying this was not my fault. You asked for
Jen,
that.
I actually went whole hog with it today.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you did. There's something happens when you're a mother. You put yourself last always, and after a while, I think that goes down to everything that you do. You put yourself last because you're so used to it that it's a weird thing to. You feel selfish if you ever put yourself ahead of anybody else. And you have to learn. That was my reminder. Having that come in as my spirit animal was my reminder that it's okay to stand in front sometimes. It's okay to think, yeah, you know what? You're fucking awesome. So be that. It's okay. So that was mine for a long time. And I think partly it's still there because I still have my moments where I need that. As far as the dark spirit animal, I
never thought about a dark spirit animal.
This is a cougar.
There's another one.
I'm waiting for Jesus fucking Christ. I need it. I'm running low.
Yes.
No.
As far as the dark spirit animal, I think for me it has to be something that is very quiet. I'm not that. I'm not a quiet demure person. And so shadow side, it would have to be like something quiet and
composed?
meek and composed.
And organized.
Yes, organized.
All of us
Yes,
are
yes.
organized.
Absolutely.
Well scheduled.
Yeah.
That's something I have to think about more.
Yeah, I like that. I like the thought of a light and a dark. I never put it that
I
way.
do too.
Seriously?
A bison. Yeah, maybe. A bison is
Not a
not
bison, it's a moose from Buffalo.
No.
Who was that?
A bison.
Oh,
is
it's
not
Ben.
bad.
I'm glad that
And
him.
that's a good one though, because as
See?
big as a bison
No!
is, they're
Chelsea
kind
said
of
what I was thinking, a mouse. Because they're
It could be a
quiet.
mouse.
Like, whenever I think of a mouse, I think of like a nice little organized huddle. Like a,
Yeah, that's true.
This is my favorite video
well, like
ever.
Mouse Trap.
Please
that movie
do
goes in.
more. Fanning the dog. Yes, you were caught.
You gotta get to Witchy-Palooza. It was like this all
The
week.
moose is fitting, is it not, though? I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Y'all are dragging my... We never.
Dark Mama Dove, yeah. Oh, I like that one too. Yeah.
It is the roast
Something
of a
kind
witch.
of demure and
See, I've
Oh, what?
always gone for animals that feel like me.
A dove?
no. See, for me, the dark one would have to be like the antithesis of me, in order to like put
Because
me in
you're
that.
using yours as aspirational.
Right. Yeah.
Where I look at it as
All your
like
problems.
what I identify as.
Yeah.
I identify as
As a moose.
pretty much. It's pretty accurate.
Have you dreamt about mooses?
No.
Meese?
Mice.
Mice?
Right? Should it not though? If
So
if the
mean.
plural of goose is geese, the plural of moose should be meese.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Definitely. It so should be. Have you ever dreamt about them?
No.
It's not your spirit animal. Your
You
spirit
don't-
animal will
just wake up
present
and
to
you're-
you in several ways.
I've kind of assumed that. Like I just embrace my inner muse.
Muse? It's a muse!
Yes. Yes. That's it.
My inner muse.
Uh, Krista, one of like a lighter question.
Yeah.
Why does Mama prefer meat and potatoes and not much else?
This is from Jess Bennett.
She put it on the calendar. I
Of
love
course
it.
she did.
Good scribing.
Yes. So my food preferences, it honestly, and then this sounds, it sounds funny, but have a lot to do with my ADD. There's a piece of my ADD that has to do with texture, and it's also called something else, that part of it, and I never remember. Good luck. I can look it up at some point and actually know it for a minute, but it has to do with textures and how I sense textures, and I don't like things that are different.
Like
Like,
it's not because you look up to Betty White.
No.
It's a better answer. Just saying.
Yeah.
For future reference, like we just want to shut people the fuck up. I look up to Betty White. She's on record. I don't eat things that are green.
And now it's
I love
more
that.
like, more.
I love that. Yeah, no, but yeah, absolutely.
Now, more of a serious question for Krista. If you could have any metaphysical ability, like of what other people are able to tap into or use, what would it be and why?
Caw. Oh, no.
You cannot be a falcon.
Nope.
We did bring her.
You
punch
said
keys,
any.
though. We brought her punch keys though.
Yes.
Yes, they did. They were
I don't
very
feel like
good.
that's the right way to say it. I always hear punchki.
Punch.
Yeah, and I said yeah, Drusilla, and you made fun of me. So we don't know.
Hi, Claire. Yes, so any... I think...
Anything you can.
It's fun. It's part of the problem for me is I don't think of them as abilities. I can do anything if I want to. If I work at it and I use that part of the muscle, I can do that. So that's almost like a non-question because I don't see them as abilities. And there is, like I said, like Joey actually sees that, but I wouldn't want that. So it wouldn't be me, my part.
Jen is perfect and fine the way she is.
Moving
Moving on.
Not like that, but it is. I have accepted that this is who I am, and I like the way I connect to stuff, and I'm good with that.
How do you feel about tiaras?
It depends on how bougie they are. I'm not very bougie about stuff usually, so if Joseph and Hexen would wear them, that probably is not my kind of tiara. I don't mind like a simple, understated tiara.
When have I over accessorized in any way?
I've seen your apartment.
On my person.
I mean, just also put, do you like me? Circle yes or no, but.
Aww.
No, moving on.
What's your favorite color?
Hexen said, what type of ancestor work do you do and how do you incorporate it into your pagan practice?
Ooh, I got a good follow-up then.
Ancestor work. I adore ancestor work. My ancestors are always around me. So I work with my ancestors a lot. They show up sometimes too much. But I like that I know that they're always there. Having said that, there's other ancestors I think that I reach out to on a maybe biannual basis to say, hey, you know, I haven't talked to all of my ancestors because I believe in like the ancestral line. I do try to connect to that entire line a couple times a year and, you know, kind of reach out and say, is there anything that I need to know? Is there anything you have for me? Is there information that you need me to be aware of so that future generations of our line, you know, I have to make sure I plant the seeds today that future generations of our line are on the correct path and track.
Is it like an equinox thing? Like when the veils are at their center
Yes.
that you do it?
Yes, Samhain and Belting.
Okay, but I do have a follow-up from Jess that actually was pre-written. Except now it doesn't recognize me. My phone doesn't know who I am anymore.
Who are you?
Well, we are getting towards the end of Justice?
Yes, last one.
So we actually are opening up the floor to you guys. If you have any questions that you've thought of during this live, type it in the chat and we'll
Did Joseph have a doorbell for real? That's all I looked over and saw.
A doorbell? I do have a doorbell, but...
Are we talking about your tent? Yes, we're talking about your tent.
Oh, they're talking about the tent.
Why are they talking about the tent?
The Harry Potter tent.
Why? Nick and Mikey's tent was just as
He had a dresser.
I don't know.
He had a dresser camping.
But wait a
Nick
second.
and Mikey had a fucking living room.
They did.
Yeah, that's true.
They did.
Okay.
But and I have to come to Joe's defense because this Witchy Palooza, I'm also gonna need a snack dresser.
That's true. It was a snack dresser.
Yes.
It wasn't
It wasn't an actual dresser. And my altar was on top of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do aspire for a headboard on my air mattress.
Yeah, so the pillows
I'm
don't fall
only
off
picking
the
on
other
it because
side.
I'm jealous.
However, there will be no throw pillows on it.
Yeah, that's true.
My throw pillows were wonderful.
My own bed at home.
Chelsea
But
slept
my
in
own
comfort
bed-
that night,
My
not under
own
the
bed
stars.
at home has never had that many throw pillows on
Right? I know, and that was camping. Yeah,
it.
I'm just saying.
And I
Okay.
could Star Watch. I could take the top off. And
Well, most tents do that, honey. That's not special.
mine had built-in lighting.
I brought my own. I had a fucking hammock. Bite me.
It didn't fit in your... Oh, wait, it
Yes,
did.
it did.
Amanda!
Amanda, mine fit. Amanda's tent was squirting wood the whole time. And she had the sex chair out front.
Yes.
Okay, seriously, last one. Have you discovered any connections about your ancestry? It's like we pre-planned this. That reflects how your path is moving forwards. Like what you are pulled to.
Well, I will say, I've always said it always bothered me that my grandmother, my immediate grandmother on my mother's side, was an amazing witch. She did not call herself a witch, but she was so a witch. She was an old farmer who connected to the earth in a complete and total way. She knew that woman knew more about plants and how to keep plants alive and crops and this and that than anyone would ever want to know. And I didn't appreciate it when she was alive. Like, she would say stuff, and I remember a few things, but I so wish, like, I had known later on that I was going to want all that knowledge. You know, when you're an asshole kid, you don't listen.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're right.
you should.
Yeah.
So there's little things that I remember, you know, that I know I constantly with plant stuff. I'm always like, Graham, what the fuck am I doing? Why isn't this working? Or what am I supposed to do different?
Yeah.
so definitely with her, she was definitely a witch. So I wish I had connected more with that. In my ancestry, I actually really like and connect with my ancestry because it's all the things I am. It's Celtic because it's Irish. It's Danish, which means it's Viking. And it is, or yeah, it's Danish, which means it's Viking, and it's pagan itself because it's Celtic and Danish. So I know that that's where I came from, my ancestry part of it. But I think there's other things that I connect with on my path that have nothing to do with this ancestor line that I think probably are past life stuff.
I'm laughing at that. I think that's Mark.
We have a few extra questions that came in. So Sarana says, despite all the suffering, no, not that one.
How about
It was.
what changes have you sensed since the whole Ukraine?
Yeah,
thing
that's the
started?
one I was looking. What changes have you seen? Yeah.
I hate to.
Be honest and open.
So my someone asked me this earlier today too. That's kind of odd that I do not feel good about the path that it's going, and I feel bad for the Ukraine people because I don't think it's going to end well for them.
He does make a wonderful fanboy. Sorry, you're talking serious, and I caught something out of the corner of my eye.
See, hence why I stopped reading, because then it's forget it.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to end well for the Ukraine people, which really bothers me. And so I have to. It's funny you were talking about Mark having to disconnect sometimes, and I have to literally disconnect for a while too, because since 9/11, I think probably you really can go down that rabbit hole of, because the 24-hour news cycle is what it is. Yeah. You can watch it forever, and I can totally get caught up in that. And I as much as I feel for those people, and I feel like it's not going to end very well. I think Russia's just going to take it over, and because he's an evil fuck, and I don't think that it's going to end very well. But I feel like the Ukraine people will rise in their own way. They're going to have to either leave their country, which is awful and horrifying, and we've seen that over and over and over lately in recent history. But I think they're going to find a way to stand on their own, even within, if they have to become a part of Russia.
Yeah.
And then DG said, when you were younger, did you it just went away, but did you feel anything like metaphysical, I guess?
Was there anything you knew or could do when you were young that you didn't understand until you started your current path? And then she said further, for example, my sister could astral travel before she even started kindergarten.
It's funny, I always
help you?
connected. He loves you so much, Mark. He just adores you. I always connected to spirit, always, and I always was comfortable connecting to spirit, even at a very young age. Even in, it's funny though, in the Catholic Church, things are different in the Catholic Church. Like, there's things that you're allowed to do in the Catholic Church that I think if you're any other brand of Christianity, that would not be okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I know a lot of Catholics that do tarot. I know a lot of Catholics that do like spirit walks and that kind of stuff. It's a lot more accepted in the Catholic tradition than it is in any other path. The mysteries of stuff are kind of okay, kind of, as long as you
they have
do them in the as long as you do them in the right way, then they are like kind of accepted.
Like making pagan goddesses.
Yeah, saints and absolute incense, and the whole Catholics are pagan adjacent. Catholicism definitely pagan adjacent. But I always could connect to spirit in the way that I always knew when people had died. I always had family visit after they died. I always had the ability to know that those who have crossed over were around and not, I don't know, in some dark place or necessarily light place or anything, but they were around. So I always knew that.
People come up with some good questions here.
Yeah.
And they all agree that he needs palm fronds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Naming, like creating sacred space and bringing
Michelle
people.
Erskine. Well, that whole thing started was like them adopting all the pagan gods and stuff. It was so they could convert people easier.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it was a whole conversion ploy for like the longest time.
Brigitte was the biggest one for that. That's the easiest example that you can make is Brigitte, the goddess Brigitte, and they made a whole like church on top of what was her temple.
Because it was like, hey, you believe in that? Hey, we also have a saint that has this and does
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So there's no problem for you worshiping that
It's
saint
okay.
instead.
You can just call her Bridget
Mhm.
instead of Brigitte.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, from Yaz, what is something your younger self would see that you've achieved that she never thought she would?
Friends.
That was older than younger. I had lots of friends when I was younger, but then something happens with kids.
Friends
goes
or
away.
boyfriends? Oh,
Never had a
or
problem
all
with
of
that
them.
Libras are hoes.
Yeah, Libras are kind of hosts. Yeah.
Are all Libras bi?
Well,
If they admit it. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
you are my type.
Oh, you're not mine either.
What the hell is the question?
Okay, something your younger self would see that you've achieved that she never thought she would.
It's funny. My younger self was not good at school at all.
Mine.
ADD was not a known thing when I was a kid. It was ADHD was fairly new, and without the hyperactivity, people just didn't understand that was a thing. And so I struggled through all of school. Every year I struggled. I struggled to pass every single year. A lot. So I never thought that I would go on to any other schooling besides that. So when I graduated from X-ray school, it was a huge deal for me because I like had a 3.8 something, I think, GPA, because like I got meds that helped me, and it was a totally different thing. And that is not something I ever would have aspired to as a younger person, because you really genuinely think you just are not good at school. I must be stupid because I can't. I had every intent. I knew I wasn't. My test scores were always incredible and stuff, but like it didn't. I had every good intention of doing the right thing every year, starting out doing it right, and it just never ended up going the right way because my brain just would not allow me to do that.
And now you're teaching others.
And now I'm teaching others.
Hexen says he's not a hoe.
You lying bastard, you are
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
He says we're not hoes, we just love a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're a hoe. Yeah.
Jen and I are man enough to admit it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's it.
Keep telling yourself that, Hex. Yeah.
Any other last questions, or are we going to be tuning it off? Joe has work in the morning.
It's only bad. It's less than 2 hours.
This
That's
was pretty good for the
That's
three of us
pretty good.
combined. That's
See, we stay on topic.
ish.
yeah. All right.
Ish.
Jen brought us off topic.
Ish.
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Don't
that.
make her shove you off the couch again.
I loved this. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
This
It was
was
fun.
good.
It
I
was.
liked it.
Yeah.
That was good. If you guys ever, have questions, you guys know you can ask me in general anyways. I don't hide much. If you look back on my channel, you will pretty much know everything about my life. I'm an open book.
This is a good check-in, though, even for you.
Oh, if you had to choose another
Years
football
down
team,
the
who
road.
would it be?
Fuck off! Who asked that?
Patriots.
Mikey.
Go.
Fuck off!
Yep.
That would be
Mikey!
non-NFL.
The
I don't know.
Washington, whatever's there.
Michael, don't make me call you out publicly.
What's the arena team that Bon Jovi bought? Maybe that
No,
one.
Trump.
Because I could
Trump
not.
was a part of that.
No, yeah, but not Bon Jovi's. Just because they all both wanted to buy the Bills.
There's only one football team that matters, and that's Buffalo.
Exactly.
I couldn't imagine doing another NFL team. I just,
No.
Me neither.
it's been
Well, I have a
49
second-
years. It's my entire life. I can't imagine anything.
But I have I have a second favorite team, but they
What
would.
is your second favorite?
But the Bills would still be my.
Washington, because all the kids and
Yeah.
Peter would do.
The Bills
What
would
is your-
still be my favorite team,
Rams.
even if they didn't exist.
You
Yeah.
just won the Super Bowl.
Yet suddenly this year.
Not suddenly, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Scribing with one hand, stirring the pot with the other. My energy gets entirely drained for they're talking about the deaths. Auburn is the only acceptable answer.
Did we miss the death question?
No, they've been talking about sensing death
Oh,
from
okay.
people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I remember when my grandfather's sister died. She came and visited me. My grandfather had died before, and I knew that night that she had died because I had a dream that I walked into my grandparents' kitchen and they were both sitting there, and I was like, wait, Aunt Ruth, you can't be here because Grandpa is not here anymore. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'm here too, and we're okay. Everything's good, and we're all right. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, then I guess you're there too now. And in hearing the next morning she was done.
I think I need to work more with dreams.
Dreams are a big thing. Dream journal. I can't recommend enough. Dream journal.
Yeah, I am. I that's a constant struggle. I'm not good at stopping and writing it down, and it's just gone instantly. Then, if you don't,
I had a
Funny.
dream a couple nights ago
oh no,
that I love telling Peter my dreams because he thinks I'm insane anyway. So
Well,
he's always like,
honey,
go ahead,
that's
tell
not
me
fit.
your dream.
That's no.
So some of my dreams are, I had a dream the other day that I
Tell us
went
about your
to Lake
cottage.
Ontario where my cottage was, and we were at the cove, and in the waves coming up right at the shoreline were like an entire line of orcas, and we had to fight them backwards to teach them how to fight.
Interesting. And I can picture this because I know where you're talking because you took Hexen and I there.
Yes, that's where it was. That's the kind of dreams that I have sometimes. Yep. No idea.
I died.
Hi, Bubba. Hi, Bubba Bear.
He's like, Mom, are you coming to bed yet?
I'm coming. I know, Bubba.
Oh, you didn't too much.
I love you.
Okay, so that's it. That's
All
Jen's
right.
interview.
Thank you guys so much. I love you all. You are the best of us. I love you. Thank you. Yay.
Is it
Up
just the
top
X?
corner, yeah.